So, when I always do some Donald Trump is Martin Luther, I want to tack on a book review, kind of working my way through the books I've read in kind of reverse order. I didn't want to tack it on the end, so I just figured I'd just do it as a separate one. Book I finished, past Underground Railroad, which I reviewed last week, is Alan Furst's Foreign Correspondence. It's book 9 of the Dark Soldiers. I think there's 14 of them. These are gems. Alan Furst writes these just wonderful, calling them spy novels is a bit of a stretch. They all take place kind of interwar years, 1930s-ish, early, late, all going on in Eastern Europe. What makes them they're just these kind of like detective noir. Not a lot happens. There's not big, there's nothing James Bond about the spying. Characters are dropped and then picked up later. I think he's written 14 of these, and only 2 of them are about the same character. Interestingly, I think those 2 are the best. I'll get to those reviews. I read those probably 2 years ago or so. But guy's a second-rate Parisian director, and he gets, he's like trying to live through Vichy France, and it just makes it so apparent how easy it is to get compromised and not be some kind of hero. So First is just a wonderful writer of these. Couldn't say enough good things about him. Also, because it's a series, but it's about all these different people, a few people kind of fall in and out of the stories. You never feel like, I don't know, you can read lots of series of books, and feel like, well, the hero just, how many times can he not get shot or something like that? It strains credulity at a certain point. So because it's different people, and they don't always end happily, he really keeps you on tenterhooks about what's going on. Foreign Correspondent, just to give you the download, it's about a character who's an expatriate Italian living in France, living in Paris. Of course, everyone lives in Paris. Nobody lives out in the exurbs. And Mussolini has taken over and made Italy fascist. And he writes this kind of, what the Russians would call like samizdat, some kind of propaganda anti-fascist piece that gets smuggled back into Italy. And it's about his little group and how, there's Italian fascists in Paris. And, I'm not going to give it that they kill somebody right off. And, the French aren't really that concerned. It's a great example of where, for some time, the French are thinking that they're going to be able to turn Mussolini to their side. And so the French just kind of let him and his little cohort of guys be abused. He writes for Reuters, so he's traveling all over. He kind of reignites this relationship he's had with this woman in Germany. And then Mussolini signs the Pact of Steel with Hitler, and the French and the English all realize, yeah, he's not our friend anymore at all. So let's kind of help this guy. And it's just following, again, maybe it's not the best one of the 10 of his I've read, but they're all really good. To cast dispersions on any of them is only because some of them glow so strongly. So really good book, exceptional writer. I love historical fiction because I'm kind of a reading nerd where I like to think, well, I'm learning a little bit about, until I read these books, my knowledge of the interwar years in like Eastern Europe was a little slim. So it's better now. And, I think, out of 10, I'd give it about a 7.9. And again, I always say, remember, I scale things on a bell curve. So it gets more and more, it's like logarithmic. So from like 8.2 to 8.3, it's a lot better. But his best ones, like the ones I mentioned about the Heart of Gold, or whatever, the front, those are maybe like 9s. They're really, really exceptional. But again, they're excellent. If you have any interest in this era, you should absolutely read them. I can't recommend them enough.